Come on, swing it, Valerie. You like that music?
I do like it. It's a really nice vibe.
It's like perky. Hello, everyone. It's good to see you. Hi, Dennis. Hi, Cynthia. Thank you so much. Just love this tune. I think I'm going to make it my brand. Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay, enough of that fun. Can't get no more fun. And I'm here to introduce my new friend, Valerie of Illumination Portal. And I saw you on Linda G, and I really liked your vibe. And I thought there is a nuance that we share. I think, I think we do, about how to approach the new Earth. You know, everybody's been telling me about we're evolving, we're ascending, we're new, but they still do and say and think the same way. So when you said that on Linda G, I said, oh, we got to do something together. I'm so glad you're here. So here's my really cool, wait a minute, there we are. Gio's here, Teresa's here, welcome. I'm going to give the floor to you, my friend. Oh, look, Glow and Teresa from yours. Is it from your site? There's a little, yay, welcome. So if you wanted to, I guess if you're commenting, that means you're a subscriber. But I'm going to let Valerie introduce herself and what she does. She does readings, and we'll get this housekeeping out of the way first. So you've got it.
Well, thank you for having me, Deborah. Oh my goodness, this is such a pleasure to be here, to meet everybody, and to see my old friends. I love when the chat is filled with beautiful, high vibrational people. I am a psychic intuitive astrologer. I started my channel though as from guidance from my team, my spirit team, to help explain how to love and accept yourself, to help raise the vibrational Mother Earth and all life on her. Because as we grow in self-love and acceptance, so does everything else. And it evolved, you know. I've always loved astrology, and I started doing the moons the new moon and full moon every month, and it started doing readings from Linda G when I was on her show, and the readings I got busier, so I'm just enjoying this ride. It's really beautiful.
Me too. You know, Linda G just shares the love so well, so nice. Such a general. I'll be on with Linda G on the 10th. And so glad to see everybody. So we are going to once again just I call it being we're pantsers. You know, that's a writer's term where you write a book by the seat of your pants, or you're a planner. And we didn't plan, but we on the same indigo jaguar. I'm sorry, squirrel. Who's here?
Hi, Heather.
So it's good to see everyone. And so one thing that I have been excited about. Now, you know astrology, and I don't, but I'm interested in the change and impressed by the way the planets are arranging themselves. And that's really exciting. And so this is the time when this is the time when, let me get my banner out of the way so maybe I won't be choppy. Okay. This is the time when things can get exciting.
Yes.
And things can get challenging. And once you feel overwhelmed, then we revert back to our more negative patterns. And that's the old Earth. The new Earth is coming in, the ascension. And so even with numerology, I'm teaching how to add up the numbers in a little different way than before. If you can just do everything just a little bit different, go
Oh
to
my God.
work a different direction,
Yeah.
brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand. I mean, just a little something just to remind yourself and say to the world, look, I'm willing to level up. I want to level up because it's my opinion and my experience that the universe synchronizes up blessings for you based on your actions. Yes, your prayers help, your thoughts help, and all that stuff. But boy, one step in a new direction, they're going to say, "Oh, come in. Let me pray. Pave this. Let me sweep this path for you."
Yeah.
And so it's teamwork. What do you say about that?
I say you're spot on. It's absolutely the way forward.
Yeah.
We are surrounded by our teams. Obviously, this is a big, huge undertaking that Mother Earth is going on as we ascend. So maybe some people won't ascend. I don't know all those details, but I do know this: the more I do take those small actions, those even writing it down differently, anything, a door will open, another door, another door, another door, and it's to show. I think it's to show each of us that we have the power. We always had the power. It's kind of like the Wizard of Oz. You've had the
Yeah.
power all along, but none of us knew, you know.
Yeah. One thing that I'm going to star your comment, Dennis. If there's a question, please type it in all caps because it's just a little easier. But your comment, I want to get to your comment, Dennis. The thing is that the reason I want to bring this up as a topic is because so many people, light workers, people who are on the spiritual path, people who are just getting into it, think they're way behind. That they have on my website, I have a quote that I made up. At any one time, you are either someone's teacher or student. The trouble begins when you assume which one you are. And so there are souls on this planet now from other planets. These souls are, have come to be here at this time. No one, you're doing fine. Even on the days you think, oh, I'm not spiritual and all, I had a bad thought. Well, go for that bad thought and just get it out of your system and climb out.
Right.
And you've got friends, you've got YouTube channels, you got me and Valerie, whatever you need, you've got the support to move into that. Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm looking at.
And it's even like when you were saying everything's changing, even the numerology, same with the astrology. I see the astrology, all the planets are leveling up. I see them as speaking to each other all the time. They have been since they created our little spot in the universe, right? But as we're moving into this energy, they're coming into me with these higher ideals, these higher ways forward. And it's really the message is kind of always the same. The astrology is not telling you, oh, you're bad or something's wrong or something's going to happen or you're good. It doesn't say that. It gives me your blueprint, and you're the person with free will that makes those decisions on how that chart's going to play out. And none of it's wrong or good. It's all
Right.
about growth. And even if you did make a wrong turn, I've made many, but they always get you back into where it is that you were going to end up anyway. It's just, it it's it's actually really beautiful in my opinion. How we're guided constantly. Hi,
Right.
Janet.
Right. Dennis, how will the age of Aquarius affect our people in the U.S. government? See, that's the entertaining part. I love that so much because Aquarius is democracy. Aquarius is humanitarianism. Um, and and so the conservative, well, say the party of me versus the party of you. So the democracy is the party of you, and let me serve you. And the others are the opposite of that. Their declaration of truth, because if I mentioned this before, if you can have two sentences that are your personal declaration of truth and anchor that in your heart, in your mind, you're building your house on rock, right? Because you have the backup for it. Now, the people who aren't all about themselves will have a declaration of truth as well, but they're going to build that house on sand. And so this is, if you can, it's hard to watch this time in the political, but think of it as just an interesting process, like the observer. So,
Can I say something?
Yes.
About that? Okay, so 248 years ago, when America was forming, right? We had the French Revolution, the American Revolution, the Age of Enlightenment, and obviously we became a country, a nation. France changed extremely, in favor of the people. This is America's first Pluto return. And to know anything about Pluto is to know that above all else, he values integrity and honesty and truth, and is looking at this coming around for the first time in 248 years ago, and this isn't exactly what you said was going to be here. A free nation, free for everybody welcome. Yeah, we made a lot of gains, but then recent history will show us that we backtracked a lot too. So as Pluto's asking for integrity, Aquarius is asking for freedom above all, humanitarian. How come everybody's not fed? How come everybody's not cared for? So the two of them together are really going to help us as a society create these structures. They don't even want to call them systems, excuse me, anymore, because that word it's derogatory to the teams, to all of our teams. They want to say we're restructuring how we handled things. It's not going to be life negating. It's going into life affirming to bring life. So
there's a question I want to ask you. I do have some feedback, but that's kind of where I'm at. I'm having a storm right now, so I think the electricity is kind of making me look bad. Hey. So when people think of 240 years ago, when Aquarius was in the same spot, they think it was the Civil War, and I don't think it was. It was the revolutionary time of separate. And so the Civil War don't think we're going back to that. We are separate, but we are separated with our policies and philosophies and everything like that, as it should be, because the definition has to be, like you said, authentic at all times. And so to be that, you have to really know who you are.
And that's a hard thing to put a definition on, the word authenticity. It's not as easy. It sounds easy, but to be authentic in every moment. I think a lot of us have, in the spiritual community, have really pondered these things for quite a number of years, and we have a pretty good grasp on it. But this isn't about what I think is authentic. It's what is authentic. How do we bring a whole nation under that?
I think what it is the energies of, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not the astrologer, but I think the energies are asking us to finally push through. And so we're going to we have a momentum to do and say things that are new for us.
Yeah.
And don't betray yourself at the first sign of trouble. If you have a momentum to redefine yourself or define yourself, whatever it is, that it's supposed to be like that in these early days of these planets.
Yeah,
But
because don't we always face ourselves? We
yeah,
really do. We always
yeah,
face ourselves. And and in and like Deborah said, you can't betray yourself in that moment. Not now.
no, not now.
Not now. It
That's
is
for sure.
always, it is truly being in your heart. Be in your heart. Be solid in who you are. Because let's face it, right? This is an election year. We know there's two sides. We know that there's a lot of division, and that's just going to ramp up until after this election. And the thing with the Pluto and Aquarius, now all the other planets are still involved too, but on September 1st, Pluto goes back to Capricorn 29 degrees. There's 0 to 29 degrees in a sign in a house.
Mhm.
So he'll go back like 29, 39, like just 20 minutes and stay there until November 18th. And then he goes forward. So you can bet, I would, if I was a gambling person, I would put a lot of money on that. It may look bumpy, the election, but when it's all said and done, by the time that that administration starts again in January, we're going to be in a whole different mindset in America, where it is about freedom and everybody does have a chance to actually live their lives in peace. Now, there's a lot of change that's going to happen and be restructured, and it has to. Right? There's a lot of distortion in our government. So, but know that it's going to be bumpy, and they're going to take advantage of that September 1st to November 18th retrograde. But by January, it'll get all cleaned up and ironed out, and we'll be going forward. And the charts show this. The charts show it just gets better and better. And
Mhm.
by the end of 2025, beginning of 2026, we are certainly all of us able to see progress being made for humanity. And
Mhm.
they always say this, you can see it now if that's what you're looking for. It depends where you put your focus. Where's your focus? So,
Yeah, that going back into having the Aquarius uh, bump us around and take us for a ride. Here's your new
mhm,
self. Here's the new Earth, and then it goes back into Capricorn, saying, "Okay, rest for 5 minutes."
mhm,
Then
yeah,
back into
yeah,
just kind of tempering us so we can move
yeah,
into it. We have Indigo Jaguar here. She is a talented psychic and an artist. She has
mhm,
a YouTube channel as well, Soul Alchemy.
yeah,
Um, and she says have to be solid in our own personal core. We radiate from a center that is authentic. That's what you were saying earlier before we came on. This is great. Yeah, exactly. From
absolutely.
our heart, out we go.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. I remember my guides asked me to love myself, and I thought I did. I had no idea what that meant. I was like,
I
I'm
know.
okay.
There was I'll bring this up a little later. I want to get to Mary's question or statement. I actually think we are going through some trying times that will strengthen us as people to live more for each other and more understanding and support. We asked to hold our space. Absolutely, Mary. That's great. That's what it is.
Yeah,
That's what
perfect.
it is.
Beautiful.
Thinking about loving yourself and you don't know really what that looks like.
Yeah.
so, so my brother, we have a kind of a fractious family, and I have two brothers, and one I communicate with and talked, and we saw each other for the first time in three decades, maybe 2 decades. We met at Disney World and played around that way. And he said, you know what I remember the most about you, Deb, is that you always did what you wanted to do. And people have said, oh, what a nice compliment. And I'm thinking, I took it as an insult, saying, you don't think this was hard? That I only did things I wanted to do. I did plenty of hard stuff, but I was missing the point. His comment was to bring me to this space here where I've just been moving into what feels comfortable enough. That's what it is. So feel comfortable, and even if you have to say no to someone.
Yeah, and isn't that's so hard, isn't it? So hard. You know, I don't want to be rude or not kind to somebody. I would never do that. But when your boundaries are being challenged, right? Well, and the boundary isn't about the person changing because how you want it to be. The boundary is for you to understand, oh, this bothers me. I have a boundary. Why does this bother me? You know, but we have to, it's like surfing. You got to navigate these waters like so, especially now. And the reason why I say that is because there's so many triggers right now. We've never been in this energy. For 248 years, we have not felt this energy. And then we just had Mercury go to 0 degrees conjunct Pluto, next to Pluto. And then Mars is going to, and then Venus is going to. And you know, the last time Mercury conjuncted Pluto in Aquarius? 61 AD. Yeah, we're making, this is, and Mercury is our communication, right? How we receive information, how we speak information. We are going to be, I think it's fascinating, and I think we're going to grow immensely as a collective, but boy, these energies are no joke.
Yeah, I have some, Cynthia, I'm going to get to your statement in a second because I want to stay on this thread a little bit. You know, when we say things are going to change and get bumpy, people freak out because people like to know what's coming. That's why psychics are in demand, and your intuition is good. But all you have to do, see, we're talking about all this complicated stuff, and I say, oh, all you have to do, I don't mean it like that, is to have prepared some sentences that when a boundary comes up and somebody crosses the boundary, you're prepared with a statement. So, for instance, someone comes up and it's not my boundary. Say, oh, come over to my house on Friday. We'll get together and do something and all that stuff. Please come. And I normally do. And I now, to be authentic, I don't want to do it. So I say, as it stands right now, it looks clear, but I can't say for sure until the day of. So it's just, that's what it is. And if they say, what's that about? Then you can say, I'm trying on a new type of communication. So if you could please give me that, I'd appreciate it. And there's another one where, if you're arguing with someone and you feel yourself falling back into your old negative patterns of feeling angry, well, you're going to feel angry. I'm not going to take that away from you. But when it sticks on you, the anger sticks and stays, that's when you can say, in the mix of the fight, when you're in a fight or a confrontation, don't look at them, look to the side and up. And they'll slowly stop talking, yelling at you because of this look. And you'll say, I'd never thought of it that way. And I'm not sure how. how that fits for me. So I'll talk about it tomorrow. So it's just being the observer, but prepare your own words, of course. But that will help a lot to discover who you are.
It is so important. It's important. And it's going to just, as we learn to be a neutral observer from our heart center, it gets easier. It really does. But it's not easy to see people struggling or wanting to bring you into their struggle, let's say. And you know what Deborah said was brilliant. Say a couple of sentences, have them ready to help you go forward, because it, as these energies continue on, a lot of, and I usually say it like this on my channel and with my clients, there are those who are heart-centered and soul-centered, but even that we struggle. I'm not saying we're perfect, but those who don't have a connection with their own heart, don't love and accept themselves, really are going to be the ones that are visibly struggling, is what I'm being shown. And the best way to help them is send them love. You don't have to say I love you out loud. Just give them love. Give it all love. I know that sounds simple and it sounds almost ridiculous, but that's what I'm guided to do.
That's tough because I've been practicing that with the Republicans, the deep madness, and I'm looking at that, what they're doing. How can they do this? It makes no sense. And then I think, God, one thing that I automatically think of is, oh, I would hate to be them on their life review of all the people they hurt. As they have, and you know, because there's so much resentment coming up from the Democrats and things like that they'll have to feel. So I feel sorry for them then.
Yeah, because they're judging others, where it says, you know, many ancient texts not to judge others. And there's just so much that we've learned over thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and it's so easy to get in your ego, to get in your head, and just all that just blows away in the wind.
Yeah. So Cynthia writes, I can't wait for the change in our country. If you can look back in history, it was always a Democrat who takes charge and work for the people. That's not necessarily true. I think of the slavery. I'm going way back. I'm going way farther than you intended, Cynthia. Republicans always bring our government down in recent years, but the Democrats were brave enough to change, and the Republicans need something to push back on. So. But it's a weird thing, isn't it?
I always wonder, we're United States of America. The first word, united, right? We're together. Why do we have opposing political parties? If we really cared about our nation and its people and her people and all of our resources and everything we have here, why wouldn't we just do the best for all?
You know, well, because that's not a democracy. That's not a democracy if we didn't have at least two parties.
Oh, no, I understand, but how can you be so different in that?
I know. That's because I got an answer for that. Okay. When someone is fighting for their lives, fighting for their ways of life, fighting against change happening in their life, that's because they know that how they're living today won't be the same. And they're holding on to the past, whereas we, listening to these kind of conversations, are slowly but surely, one sentence at a time, one thought at a time, moving into the new earth, moving in a new way to live life with a whole lot more joy. And so I appreciate that.
That's pretty cool. I mean, in the new earth, how does that, is it a democracy? Is it just, I mean, I'm curious to see how it all, how that all comes to be. Like, I'm sure we're all free. That's the main thing here with, especially with Aquarius and Pluto, they want freedom. And as we ascend, but I mean, I just always have envisioned a world where there's truly peace and harmony in all moments, and you can live your life. There's no violence, there's no hate, there's no division. Now I know we're quite far from that at the moment, but is that, as I'm hearing how when we ascend and we do that, like a high timeline jump, that that can be possible. Maybe. I hope.
Yeah, I can. So those of you here in the show, I would love to bring you in to the show so we can have a conversation with you. So the people I'm calling for are people who are struggling with a negative pattern that seems to be getting worse during these changes, because we want to address that. So I'm going to put, sorry, I am going to put the link to this show in the comments. And I believe people who are on Facebook won't be able to come in. I think you have to go on YouTube to be able to do it. But if you're coming in, make sure you're on Chrome, not Firefox or anything else. And let's have a conversation about this for sure. And what's interesting is I just met someone last night. I had that free-for-all.
So cool.
That was so fun. It's open lines, and I don't know what was going on. It was really fun. But there was a woman that came on, I think it's Thomas. Oh, what's your name? You're here now. Gosh, you are saying things that we don't want any. This is not verbatim, but we want a world that no leaders, no hunger, she had a whole list of everyone being equal. And I thought, oh, that's a soul from Beta Centauri. That's a Hadarian soul right there. That's the example of what planet either you've spent a lot of time on, your soul has, or it was when you were thought into, you're conceived by God, and your first flicker of light, that would be your first planet of origination, basically. So, and that they always have that underlying thread that why can't we be, and you just spoke the same words.
I have always felt that way. Linda Bishop says it was her. That was me.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you. I was thinking it was someone else. God bless you. Appreciate that.
I don't. It seems so easy to me. Like everybody, you do you. I'll do me. With no harm to anyone. I don't know.
That's true.
But
wait.
What happened?
Indigo Jaguar says, "Oh my goodness, Deborah, I've been led to study Hadar. Everyone should Google Hadar starseed and see. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there. Yes, you had a past life. We have past lives on everything, and this is what. And you said, but no memory of it. This is what happens: is that we have visited all these planets, had experiences with all these planets. And that never changes in our memory. But every time we incarnate into this dense field, we reweave a new memory suit. It's like a fishing net with those sparklers, like of memory, and sometimes you misweave it. You have some memory lost or hidden or highlighted. People with, as an example, highlighted memory tends to have people who have OCD and have to tap the door 3 times before going in, that kind of anxious energy, and very well be something misremembered is all. As far as karma goes, it's been my experience that we don't accrue it. This is part of the new earth. This is how I feel, is that we no longer accrue good karma or bad karma. We don't have to work off good karma, bad karma, because that brings a barrier between us. So there was a time when I was studying karma when I was a novice. And what you do is you study something and you climb into it full body and you kind of embody it and you look through that filter, see if it resonates to you. Well, I was learning karma, and I'm embarrassed to say, I've said it before, it's kind of embarrassing, but this is my path. There was something tragic on the news with kids, and I realized the more tragic the story, the more I leaned back into, well, they must have really messed up in a past life to have that happen. That made me separate from my heart.
Yeah, that's true.
So that is, so I threw that away, and I've been working on something else. But karma is a perfect system. Every single choice you make has a mirror to that. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's quick, it's fast, and that means you can manifest really fast too. If you let that in and try it on.
And I do think we all do that, when we're starting out and we're following the breadcrumbs is what I call it, and it takes a while. Even now I learn things every day.
I know, through our clients especially. I'm so grateful I have been able to read so many people, have sessions with so many people, because it allowed me to see things so differently. And I'm so happy with the person I became through that. And so one of the ways to speed up your spiritualness is to serve others in any way you can. It doesn't mean you have to be a psychic advisor, but to move into even volunteer work. If you just go out and pick up the beach, right, with a group, it really does help center you so you can have that truth, that declaration of truth, 2 sentences. Any questions? I'm looking.
I was thinking about your pop-up, your live last night. That was that night, right? That was when Mercury and Pluto were conjunct together. And that was a new way of you. Okay, so look at it like this: new way of you expressing yourself on your channel.
That's true. Oh my gosh, that's so interesting, isn't it?
I think so. I think it's really cool.
Thank you for saying
Thank you for listening. But we follow our inner guidance. Those of us who have channels or who have that knowing, psychic abilities, intuitive abilities, we all do it. We don't need to look at the chart. You really don't even need to talk to a psychic. If you really trusted your inner gut, right? Your inner knowing. But we all want to hear some validation. I want to hear validation. I like to see them.
Absolutely. You know why? Because we live on the densest planet in the universe, and we signed up for this. This is why it's low vibration. I saw that cartoon where there's a cartoon alien family in their bubble, in their spaceship, 2 kids in the back, 2 parents in the front, and in the foreground is the Earth, and mom looks back and says, "Lock your doors." It's because we don't. And when I was talking to near-death experiencers, or death experiencers rather, that was what they said. John Davis was the first one who said it, that we don't get God's love. I don't want to have emails about that. Just hear me out. You know, those pats on the back, we have to have faith for that. We have
No,
to have
absolutely.
faith. And then again, when Vinnie Tolman came on, and I said that to him, he goes, absolutely, no.
Mm-hmm.
It's because if you had one drop of God's love, the free choice would go out the window.
Mm.
One drop.
Wow.
That's why we need each other to say,
Yeah.
I think it's that direction. Yeah, consensus, let's go.
Yeah.
And we need each other. Absolutely.
Yeah, we do. We need each other, and it's fun, right? It's fun hanging out with each other and helping us navigate through this. This is definitely challenging. I'd say it's probably one of the most challenging planets, but
Yeah,
I don't
it's for me. So
know.
here's Dennis. Ever since I was a teenager, I was fascinated by the Big Dipper, but don't know why until tea time with Tanya said that I was from the planet Arcturus, which is in the constellation or Big Dipper. I was going to say Mintaka, but Arcturus is one of those. Not many Arcturuses are on the planet because they stay behind the scenes. And what's interesting, this is kind of a confirmation with what Tanya said to you, is that Arcturians will stay behind the scenes. How many times, Dennis, have I said, come on my show, let's do some work together, let's do this? And it's like, no, you never reach out. And it's because if I had known you were an Arcturian, I wouldn't have invited you. Well, maybe I would have, because times are changing. But those of you who this is someone else, excuse me. We Warrior Girl 113, we each have a thread of the truth to weave into a tapestry of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And in your humble opinion, the I think you're right. And we're stronger together, of course, than apart. And that's why it's important to have some sort of platform that we believe in and grow into. I'm looking here. It looks like we do not see. So here's Indigo Jaguar again. I agree. I really like these types of deep-rooted conversations in our community. I like it too, because the shift, to me, the shift is just so subtle you could miss it and stay the same. And that would be a shame. It would be such, because the universe is supporting your change now. It was tougher before to change. Now it's going to be, you're going to get the applause. So I love that.
And it's these little things that we just make a little adjustment and a whole new world opens up for you. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Learn from others. Yeah, right. So what I know about Dennis, I'm sorry, I have to say it out loud. Some people are just listening. Dennis says, I came here to learn from others, and I will let people like you teach. Ha, 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 laugh out loud. I'll tell you something. You are a very old soul, my friend, but you are in the background. People who aspire, people who are Arcturians and aspire to be of service in this way, whether you're psychic advising or usually healing on some level, more than the psychic, but you're good at both. Those people usually tend to high achieving individuals. In other words, you would be the president's astrologer. You would be the president's, or you would be a rock star. We travel with rock star, or at least have a mainline to rock star. Yes, this city is good. That city is right. I'm making it simple and weird right now, but that's the energy signature of Arcturians. They say, you know, you go on stage, you do it. And that's exactly what he just said. You go do it. I'll learn from you. But we're reading the book you wrote, Dennis. That's what it is. So, oh my gosh, this has been so fun.
Yeah.
And the time has just flown. Does anybody have any questions for Valerie or I that you need to express? Because we both do private readings, and we have our own channels, and we want to serve the world. And even if you just need someone to say, hey, you're doing good.
Yeah.
I see it through numbers. I see it through numbers, because I can say, oh, this is what you were born to be. And then you can course correct into that. And then once you're aligned, you can manifest really fast. And then Valerie does natural abilities and tarot and the whole night, but astrology as well. So it's a real well-rounded place for you to just say, go over there. We're not going to tell you what to do, but it looks favorable over there. You start walking there. And the cool part about the new earth is you start walking into a new direction, and they're applauding. We'll support you. We'll synchronize up what you're doing, not what you're praying for. We will make sure things come in. There's a story about that. Where I won't go into all of it, but I was told in a meditation that there are beings, souls on the other side that do not have a deep attachment to people. It's not like your guides or your guardians or your counsel or anything. They are transient, and they go around. They're very, very lighthearted. They're not joy guides, I don't think, but they can be. But they're very, very cool souls that have experienced Earth, but they cannot hear your prayers. They cannot hear your thoughts. And if someone just hated their job, but went there every day and hated every minute of it, they wouldn't know you hate it. They just see you going to a job. Well, she must really like that job. So I am going to synchronize up a situation where she always has that job. So all of a sudden, this person doesn't have enough time to go to school to better herself. She doesn't have it. She's at the top of her line right now. She's going to have to stay there. So it's like, or she's overspent and can't afford to make a change. There's a whole bunch of things that happen once you do something like that without a full heart, over and over and over again. So to offset that, I know there's a lot of people watching that do have jobs that they don't care for. Don't worry, don't quit. Just make sure in a meditation you call these beautiful beings in. I call them white and blue lights, but you do you, and you get to know them yourself, and just say, I want you to hear me. I want to be friends enough that you understand that when I go and do something that I don't like to do, you know, that's not what I want to do. But I will, you promise, I will have, when you give the impulse to try something else, I will do it. So that's how you start a relationship.
Wow. Yeah, that's the truth, though. We have to ask. We have to ask if there's something, and whatever it is, from A to Z, any part of your life, asking your team, and they do give you those nudges, those little, ideas, all that information, inspiration comes in through our through our team down into our energy body. Sorry about the helicopter.
Are they looking for you?
I don't think so. Let's hope not.
Well, this has been fun, and I appreciate everyone coming in. And her Valerie's contact is going to be in the show notes right after this live. And do you have any parting thoughts, Valerie?
I don't.
Okay.
We are all here working towards this new earth, right? in our own way. And everyone is where they're at.
Yeah, we are certainly in good company, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for coming in and watching us. I'll be with Linda G on the 10th, but Lalit and I are going to be on every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific, giving you the next week's forecast. She does astrology, I do other things, but I do the numbers and things. But I just had a friend call who had a bad day, and she was telling me about it, and she says, well, the only reason I called is to tell you that your prediction for Tuesday panned out. So I don't really know what the prediction is, but anyway, so tune in. And do you have anything coming up, Valerie?
I do. I have a show tomorrow with an animal communicator and a healer named Debbie Dimmitt. And on Friday night, Diana Bowles and Sun Psychic Jean and I will be doing the new moon in Aquarius astrology. And then on Sunday, I'm going to be with Allie, Heart and Soul Connected. So, just talking about this new moon, these new energies, and all of us navigating through there with or without support. Yeah. It's just, there's a lot of support online. There's a lot of ways.
There really is. So I highly recommend that you subscribe to Valerie's channel, Illumination Portal, so you can get the notifications. That would be good. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. All of that helps, and comment and all of that stuff. Thank you so much. I'm gonna move into our okay, here we are. My cool. Wait a minute. Oh man.
Listen music.
That is my good one. I thought I had this timed out.
I love it.
So enjoy yourself, and we'll see you next time. God bless you all. Thank you.